Happy International Women's Day to all. Be fearless, influence, innovate, and inspire. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, respected colleagues, and families of ICAI members. Welcome to our International Women's Day program. Today, we gather to celebrate the remarkable achievements, resilience, strength of women all around the world. As we commemorate this day, let us reaffirm our commitment to gender equality, empowerment, and inclusivity. Together, let us ignite conversations, foster collaborations, and champion the rights and voices of women everywhere. Thank you for joining us in this important celebration, and I promise that it is going to be a fun-filled session with a lot of games and a lot of engagement, and there are going to be a lot of prizes to be won. So let's start our session with the ICAI motto song, and I request the audience to raise for the motto song.
Yaesha supteshu jagrati Yaesha supteshu jagrati Kamam 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 Pusho nirvimana Tadeva shukram Brahma Tadeva Mritamujjane Tasmin lokaha Shataha Sarve taduna Tyadikaschana Etadvaita
May I now invite CA Sangeeta for welcome address as Chairperson of Women Excellence Subcommittee.
Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you as we gather to celebrate the International Women's Day. It is a day to recognize the immense strength, resilience, and determination of the women in every corner of the world. It's a day to celebrate their success, acknowledge their struggles, and reaffirm our commitment to women, empowerment, and excellence. Amidst all the challenges, women have continued to rise. They defy expectations, break down the barriers, and inspire the change. From the boardroom to the classrooms, from the halls of the government to the front lines of the country, women are leading the way and making a difference in the lives of millions of people around. And we know that many of the women members are holding lead administrative roles as well as finance roles, leading in many organizational structure around the world. In this hall also we have many women leaders present. We feel privileged to have with us a women leader whose presence has added immense value to this gathering, Ms. Najat Al-Lawati. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation, and warm welcome to you. Today, we celebrate the International Women's Day. Let us not only celebrate the achievements of the women all over the globe, but reflect on how far we have come and how far we are yet to go. Shortly, we are going to hear more on this from the eminent speaker for today, Padma Shri awardee, Mrs. Anupama Hoskere, on hidden potential of women from Bharata. Warm welcome to you, ma'am. We do have some entertaining games, team activities lined up for this evening, and I hope you all enjoy. I would like to take this opportunity to let you know that Muscat chapter has developed a well-knit women members group. As you would have noticed, we had put up a group dance called Tiruvadira during the Onam celebration. Though this Tiruvadira belongs to the southern part of India from the state of Kerala, but not all of the participants who participated in this Tiruvadira were from Kerala. And this group had practiced for almost more than a month to achieve perfection. So I feel that this is, in a small way, a determination, some dedication, perseverance, and passion to do something different by the women. And also, here we are again as a women group with this event for you all. This has been planned, coordinated, and well, I think we are going to do it, conduct this for you all so that you all enjoy this evening. I would also like to say that today, the women member who was supposed to be the MC had an emergency and she had to travel down to India. But we quickly turned around this, and thank you, Hemalata, for accepting to be the MC for today. And thanks to Ashish as well. And we should never forget that men have always been a great pillar of support for us women. In closing, and also this all would not have been possible without the support from the other members of the managing committee. In closing, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of the members, especially the women who have come down to celebrate the International Women's Day along with us. Together, let us continue to march towards a brighter and more inclusive future for women and girls everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Sangeeta, for the inspiring welcome speech. Now, I would like to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Ms. Najat Ali Al-Lavatia. Ms. Najat Ali Al-Lavatia was elected as a director of the NBO Bank at the AGM in March 2017. She holds a commerce degree in accounting and has attended various courses in diverse fields of financial management, audit, investments. She has worked as a Deputy Director General for Support Services with Civil Service Employees Pension Fund and has more than 20 years of diverse experience. Presently, she holds the position of General Manager Finance and Investment Monitoring for the Social Protection Fund. Ms. Najat is also a Director and Chairperson of the Audit Committee of Oman Cement Company, SAOG. She is also on board of the Omnivest and board of NBO. With her varied experience of economics and administrative affairs, we are delighted to have her amongst us in this special day. May I now request CA Asta ji, past chairman of ICAI member Muscat chapter, to welcome the chief guest with a bouquet of flowers. May I also request CA Anuradha ji, past chairman, Muscat ICAI chapter, to felicitate our chief guest, please. Next, I call upon my colleague, CA Sarita, to introduce the speaker, Padma Shri Anupama Hoskere.
Good evening, everyone. Today, I, CA Sarita Vasant Shinde, have the privilege of introducing our speaker of the day, who is a true master of puppetry, Padma Shri Anupama Hoskere. Now, you must be wondering what a puppeteer has to do with finance or the theme of hidden potential of the women of Bharata. Let me break it down to you. Anupama ji has mastered the art of infusing life into the lifeless objects, just like bringing numbers on the balance sheet to life. With her skills, precision, and creativity, she is bringing the spirit of women. While we are here crunching numbers, Anupama ji has been busy pulling the strings of traditional puppetry, spreading the joy of Indian heritage and culture across the globe. Founder-director of the Dhatu Puppet Theatre, her work has not only elevated puppetry to a respected art form, but has also garnered international acclaim, just like a successful financial venture. Anupamaji's journey is a testament to her mastery in every facet of puppetry, both on stage and beyond. She has trained under traditional puppetry gurus, resuscitating special string puppet techniques and earning recognition as an expert speaker on Karnataka puppetry through Peppers and TEDx talks. Over the years, Anupamaji's unparalleled contributions have been recognized and honored by numerous accolades, including the prestigious Sangeet Natak Akademi Puraskar and most recently the Padma Shri Award for the year 2024 from the Government of India. And that is not all. And that is not all. She doesn't just engineer puppets, she engineers success in both artistic and technical realms, holding 2 master's degrees in engineering, showcasing her versatility and commitment to excellence. Let us watch this video and embark on this captivating journey of Anupamaji's world of puppetry. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed that mesmerizing glimpse into the world of puppetry and the extraordinary contributions of our distinguished speaker. The art of puppetry, as we have witnessed, involves not just skillful manipulation of strings, but a deep understanding of narratives, emotions, and essence of cultural expression. Isn't this an inspiring story of exploring the hidden potential of a woman? Our speaker today, Padma Shri Anupama Ji, a master puppeteer and a visionary artist, will now guide us through a different set of strings, the ones that tie together the diverse and incredible stories of the women of Bharat. Let's welcome Anupama Ji to shed light on the hidden potential, the untold stories, and the remarkable contributions of the women who have shaped and continue to shape the tapestry of our nation. I request C.A. Sangeeta Ji, Treasurer, Muscat Chapter of ICAI, to escort Padma Shri Anupama Ji to the dais. Now I request C.A. Sangeeta Ji to welcome Padma Shri Anupama Ji with a bouquet of flowers. I request all the managing committee members to come on the dais for the photograph. Anupama Ji, we now eagerly await your insights on today's topic, Hidden Potential of Women of Bharata. Anupama Ji, the stage is all yours.
Namaste. Hi and marhaba to one and all here. It's been a very an eye-opener, and you know, my happiness level is a little high because it has been a very busy schedule, and when Sangeeta called me, my teacher told me if my calendar is free, I should do the job. Because she was elderly, my dance teacher, and I said, how come you're not well? And then, because I was helping her in the house with her life. She was all alone, and a wonderful teacher. And I was seeing her go outside. Whenever anybody called, she would go and render whatever her job is. And when I asked her this, why do you go? She said, this is my dharma. This is my happiness. And she said, when you reach a point in life where your inside and outside become one, that means passion and profession come together, you will understand that you don't have a choice. And it is not tough, it is not painful. Even if I have to travel one day, I will go and come. And the body gets used to this. And when I came here, I came with a preconceived notion because I'd already been to Dubai many times. And when I come here, forget everything else, and like, oh my God, I heard that Muscat was very beautiful. And the beauty and Sangeeta's hospitality, cheer, happiness, see, all of these are byproducts of a lifestyle. All of us are happy. In India, we believe, right? The essence of the Atman is happiness. Eastern theory is this. Then what is sadness? When this gets clouded by external, which we will call avidya, then we become sad. So generally, lifestyle is good when it is promoting this happiness. The other things are what takes away from life. To some extent, all is required. Beyond that, it takes away from the core. You know, it eats away. World is heading there. And when I come here and see, I'm like, oh my God, thank you for calling me. I'm learning so much. So it is into this beautiful space of people who are, work anxieties we shall leave. That is okay. That is part of lifestyle anyway, to some extent. So generally, I see that it is well poised, calm, peaceful, and a happy place. And my job is half done because I have receptive audience. See, there has been cloud prediction of rain. We have the best meteorological services in the world. They can give you probability. probability of rain is there. Sure event, not predictable. Anywhere, you can't say, now it will rain here. No. The clouds can fly away, float away, and the wind can come in, and so on and so forth. So when this is the case, when the audience are receiving, there is a probability of receiving something. Because you might have had a tough time in the road, external quantities are there, parameters are there, which will make you either take away something or not. But when society is primed, that is where we are going to head to see from where do we come and how are we like this. So when the society is primed, the probability is higher of things happening the way they should happen. Having said that, I would like to start at the very beginning, where today being Women's Day, I offer my salutations to all the successful women here. Everybody is a successful woman, believe me. And the gentlemen who are behind them, giving them support, strength, and become the source of the energy. And to my mother, who's now 89, and my grandmother, who's been a beacon of light in my life. I am a posthumous child. I was born 2 weeks after my father passed away. And when I look back, I learned dance, music, painting. I was encouraged to be good with my academics, and I didn't think anything was wrong. Till I grew a little older and society would tell me, oh, you don't have a father. I'm like, really? And this is the strength that women have to impart whatever they have to give to their next generation. And I did not think much about this because this is where I grew up, okay? This is what I got. And I did well, and I did I was the first person in my family to do engineering. And there was a little discussion in the household. They said, what will you do if you become an engineer? Maybe you should apply for BSc. I come from a family of lawyers and judges. So what I did is I didn't apply at all for anything else. In my time, newspaper, we had to apply in the newspaper. So I put an application and kept going. So my thing was, if I get a seat here and I don't have any other seat, my people won't want me to lose a year. So they will say, go, okay, engineering, go. And that's exactly what happened. I declared at some point that I never applied for BSc and or BCom or BA, and then I'm stuck with engineering in a far off place. And because the family is a very old one in Bangalore, they have a lot of connections. They found somebody in Gulbarga. And that is where I got my first seat, later on transferred to BMS College of Engineering. And they put me in architecture. I didn't want to be in architecture. My dream was to do electronics engineering. Because as a child, I was good at math, good in science, and I was also, like I said, very exposed to the arts. I was good at dancing also. In dance class, I did well. And at this point, my dance teacher said, if you do engineering, don't step into my class. So I'm like, can't do that. I have to do engineering. Then I told my master, I said, sir, I'm sorry, but I have so much poverty with you. I don't want to be poor. So if dance is giving me only poverty, why should I do dance? He got very angry and he said, you're not allowed to come into my class. And we came from this background that if we have one teacher, one guru, we stayed with that guru till, till the time was done. But I would not stop going to dance class. I would go stand outside. In that hour of the dance class, I would stand outside. And in 2 years, he passed away. And believe it or not, I had a dream of another teacher. And I went looking for her only to find out that she was known to the family, and then she was my aunt's friend. And she took me in, and I learned Bharatanatyam, and I pursued engineering. Then I did my GATE exam, got a score, and my professor said, now you come and do, ME in BMS, Engineering College, where I had done my bachelor's. By this time, I had found my life partner, And in those days, we would go doubles on a scooter. My grandmother, again, said, see, I have kept money for you for a pair of gold bangles. And on your 16th birthday, that FD matured, and she said, I'm going to buy you bangles. So I negotiated with her. I said, see, if you give me bangles, my life is in danger because some thief will want my bangles. But if you give me a scooter, I can be independent and travel all around town. I didn't think she was going to buy this conversation. And then she's like, that is a good thought. Okay, we'll get you a scooter. So I became this independent woman doing engineering in Bangalore. Every gully in Bangalore I have seen and explored and knew my city very well. And I'm very thankful today looking back to the trust and we had freedom. See, I come from a very traditional family. And then I understood later on in life, tradition also means freedom. Freedom from doing unnecessary work. A path is done already. Somebody already figured things out. Now, after living in the US, it's like, I want to do it myself. The same wheel you want to discover, so you cannot climb higher. So I said, very nice, now I have freedom and I was a good student. Then one of my professors, who was very caring, said, you were walking with a boy on MG Road, why? In Bangalore. I said, sir, we'll not discuss this today. Some other day, I'll let you know. I have to go. So even the staff were very protective. They did find out if that boy was a good student or not. He was a rank holder. And then, marriage happened after this, and I went to the US. There were days when he was a student. He had a stipend as a student. So we took apples from the trees. And we have lived a few days like that, but it was a great adventure for us. We didn't want to tell at home that, we never asked. That was my independent upbringing, which my home had given me, that you can do it. And then slowly life got good, and I went to college to do my master's. And there, there was also investment in epics in my life. My grandmother was a Sanskrit scholar. She would also drive a chariot. I have seen pictures of her driving a chariot. Of course, by the time I came into the world, she was not very young. And she said her father was the financial controller to the Maharaja of Mysore. And when the Yuvaraja had gone to London and asked for extra money, because he is a music buff, the financial controller apologized to the king and said, I have to do my job. We cannot afford more money for the Yuvaraja. And he came home and told his wife, we're going to go to jail. I'm going to go to jail because I have refused, but I've done my job. So you be ready to live like an ordinary citizen and a poor woman in society, but you will survive. So he gave her the responsibility. In that house, it seems there were 100 Vidyarthis, people who came to study, from the lesser neighborhoods and villages. They would come and eat food in that house, a large house. So he just made her responsible overnight and was waiting for the summons from the king. And the king did send the car for him. And then he went to Mysore from Bangalore. And king in the darbar said, how can you think this of me? He said, I'm very insulted that you think that because you did your duty, I was going to punish you and you've gone away, resigned and gone away. He says, not acceptable, come back to work tomorrow. So this kind of non-defined happenings where the woman has to take care. Now, if you go back to the history, I kept wondering, because you see the Westerner interpretation of, Sita, Savitri, they were all very docile, and they were very within boundaries, and they suffered. It's a question we will answer today. Did they suffer? If so, what is suffering? These Ramayana I could never read beyond Pattabhisheka because I'm like so much injustice to this poor woman. And they call all these great couples, Nala Damayanti, Harishchandra, Chandramati. And everywhere the woman is like questionable. For me it was questionable. Why are they treated like this? So what is this that makes these people great? Why should we learn about these people? Was my question all through. And then I realized that Yoga Vasishta is a text where it talks about depression of success. Rama at 16 is very depressed. He's extremely successful. He's got it all. You will realize in life, when you have too much success or too much failure, you need prayer. You cannot be partying when either of the two happens. You have to become focused. You have to regiment yourself. And when you reach that point, by then you should have learned how to do this. So Rama is trained also, but his teacher finds it very difficult to convince this lad about life. So he does one storytelling for him. He does storytelling of a couple from Saurashtra, Gujarat. Yeah, and then he says, there is Chudala is her name, Shikidvaja is the king. They are very successful. So they are fantastic human beings who care about their people. Welfare and administration can never have been better. So the land expands. They're governing the whole of Bharata of those days. And the treasury is full. People are happy, honest, and it is like paradise. And time goes on, and they are past youth. King and queen sit together and say, the king approaches the queen and says, we have success, but I am restless. I need to find out, discover myself. Do you agree that we have our own space where we go and do self-discovery? Who am I? Why am I here on this earth? And she agrees. She's very happy because she's of a similar intellect and she wants to find out who she is. And very soon, they agree that youth has parted from them. You know, signs of old age are coming in. And both of them go, and there is no description of what they do. Maybe they meditate, maybe they do whatever. And Chudala has self-realization, whatever they have set out for. So she becomes a jnani. And then the husband looks at her and says, this youth is a cheat. He left both of us and went away, and he has come back to you. And first time in the Indian literature, we see the word Srimati being used. See, the British came and thought they have some man and wife, and the wife is Mrs., so the Srimati is wife of somebody. That is not true. In India, Srimati means Shri is wealth. And Shri is not just bank balance. Shri is internal, external wealth. What is internal wealth? Happiness, being contented, being generous. So all of these are considered as wealth. Satisfaction, tripti it is called. And we have this and that. The lady, Matihi, is intellect, buddhi. The lady who's endowed with all of these is a Srimati. And to run a household, all of you will agree, you need this. Because you have so much to balance. Especially now, even Chodala, why should I say now, then? She had her kingdom, she had her people, she had her family. Then she has this husband who is in pursuit of something and he doesn't seem to understand it too well. And she cannot explain to him because every time she goes in front of him, he looks at her as his beautiful wife and tells her, okay, but I will search, I will find, you be. That she accepts. She says, that is the nature. Doesn't fight this. But her love for him is no less. Her care for her family is no less. And then when he tells her that, see, this youth is a cheat, she laughs and says, Sada Atmanyeva Tishtami. I am always in happiness because I am not bothered by my surroundings. I have crossed to the point of realization where I do my job. She's doing it very well, but she's not bothered by it. So he says, whatever, this is a lot of gibberish. I am going to pursue and find myself, and this kingdom is disturbing me. The duties of the kingdom are disturbing me, and he goes away. And when he goes away, she takes care of the kingdom. 18 times treasury increases. So the administration happens. People are not missing the king, but she is missing her husband. By now, she's gained so much yogic powers that she can fly in the air. It's called Anima Garima. They can just lighten. We don't know all this in today's words, but the story goes that she can fly in the air and she goes and looks after his welfare without appearing in front of him because she doesn't want to disturb him. He told her, do not disturb me. And then one day, she finds him climbing the top of a mountain. And she panics because she knows he might jump off. He's not in a happy state. And then she's going to land and says, oh, if I land as his wife, nothing is happening here. So she changes her form into a mendicant and lands and says, my name is Kumbha. I'm Brahma's grandson. I'm here. I saw you and I've appeared. And the king has detailed philosophical discussions with this man. And then he says, see, I have to advise you that you are very attached to your goal. So when you become so possessed by your goal, you lose the path. You do not know where you're going because your desire overtakes your work. So it is all right to have, it goes back to karmanyevadikaraste, ma paleshu kadachana. It is there in many places. This is the earliest. And so he says, Kumbha says, be detached. When it happens, it happens. Till then, do your job. Do your job well. And many months pass, and again when Chudala comes, she sees from far away that there is aura around him. He's glowing. And he lands, she lands as Kumbha, and then the king greets Kumbha, and then says, I don't know how to thank you. It's because of you. Now I have gained whatever I had to do. Kumbha now sees time is good to declare who the identity is and says, I have something I have hidden from you, I'm sorry, but I'm not Kumbha, I'm your wife Chudala. And she gets back her form. And then the king is delighted. So you see, it is not true that ancient men did not support their wives. And he says, nothing could be better. That I have received this from you. And he says, come, let us go back to she says, people are waiting. We have to do our duty. Now you have desire is fulfilled. You have become a gnani, but your kingdom is waiting. Let us go back. And they go back. Next morning, we have this recoronation. It's called Pattabhisheka. Pattabhisheka is not a crown. They tie a patti. A piece of cloth is tied around the head. And that is considered an honor. And after that, they put the crown. So when that is about to happen, the king says, wait, I have a condition. So I do not like what is going on here. Then he says, half of this throne belongs to my wife. Only if she agrees to come and sit with me here, then I will accept becoming your king again. And this is the tradition, the origins from which we come. So this is one of a ruling family. Then from the Mahabharata, we have Yudhishthira is in the forest. They have lost their kingdom in gambling and they have gone to the forest. His wife, Draupadi, is working day and night to take care of everybody because people follow. They have this patra which is giving food to their people. King has many problems. To feed the people, even in the forest, they have to do. So she's doing all the work. And Yudhishthira asks the sages, his heart pours out. He says, what do these women get? They're working so much and they're selflessly working. Nobody asks. I'm sure we experience it now or then, that no break. Come home, cook, go to office, work, coffee break, postpone, and then it never ends. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, relatives, elders. And then he also says, she sees how Draupadi is taking care of his mother, and he says, what do these people get who take care of elders and who serve like this? On one hand, youth is sacrificed by a woman, where she has to take care of the child, the family, and also she gets a relief that the child has grown. At that time, she has to take care of elders. Then one story is told to him. Long ago, there was an elderly gentleman, a Brahmana, who had a son. Brahmana is a person who's seeking knowledge. Brahman means knowledge, the ultimate knowledge, whatever Chudala sought. So some people are there who go looking for this, who am I? They want to answer to this question. The elderly father says, don't go. I'm old. You have to stay with me. There's nobody to take care of me. And the boy says, no, 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 all this is all right. I have to go because I have to find myself. He does gain power, yogic powers. And one day he's sitting under a tree and doing his practices when a bird poops on him. He's not conquered anger though. So anger is still in him, unconquered, and he becomes very angry. Power is there, anger is there, disaster will happen. And he stares at the bird and the bird burns to ashes. And then he's mighty pleased with himself, saying, see what I can do if somebody disturbs me, and he goes away. And it was normal practice in those days that people seeking knowledge did not waste time on food. Accumulating food, cooking food, all these are processes which consume a lot of time. So they went and asked housewives to give them some food, and they would be satisfied with whatever they got. This was norm. So they could pursue education, like, in the hostel they will tell canteen is there, eat. Don't bother about cooking your own food. Similar. So he goes to a house where it is a very grihini. Grihini is a housewife. Housewife is there. She calls him and says, come on, I will give you, I have just cooked food. Just as she is about to get him food, her husband, who is a farmer, comes. And this woman tells this learned gentleman, saying, please wait. My primary duty is here, where I have to take care of my husband. He's come, I have to serve him food. You wait, I will come back and take care of you. So she serves him food, comes out. By then this anger has gone up. And he stares at her. She is silent for a second. See, in India we have time between two thoughts. It is called a kshana. They have measured time between two thoughts. And anything auspicious is seen as a unit of 48 minutes, and that is your muhurtam. Anything done, they will stellar, because they have to work so that things become better. When you invest somewhere, you need returns, right? So here, multifold return of anything invested is the general policy. So she, in one kshana, she says, I am not the bird you burnt. You cannot burn me. This fellow is aghast. He says, how did you know? Now he says Mata and does full Sashtanga Namaskara to her and says, please become my teacher. You are a jnani. You got this? How? And then she laughs and she says, I just do my job. I do my job full kaya, vacha, manasa, by speech, by word, by action, and by thought. I don't have split. I don't have a split identity. I do not have divisions saying, why should I do? Never comes. So I'm integrated and I'm like this. Then he says, please take me as your student. She says, no, I am not your teacher. You go to Mithila and there is Dharma Vyadha, go to him. Vyadha means butcher. So Dharma Vyadha means a butcher who is doing his work properly, according to the rules. So this man goes, he is not used to the smell of meat, and he says that Grihini was all right, but she's done a mistake. She's sent us learned scholar like me to this butcher. Then suddenly he's about to go away. The butcher says, oh, Brahmana sent by Grihini, come on inside. I'm doing my job. Let me finish my job. Then I will come and answer your questions. So he makes him wait all day. Then he takes him home. Then he says, see, I do my job. I'm born as a vyadha, as a butcher. I weigh meat, I sell meat, and then I take care of my family. Then he especially introduces this chap to his elderly parents. See, even me in my puppet theatre, right, I'm very busy. So as we grow older, the parents sometimes talk to us in a manner which will not be pleasant for us. When we are younger, we will take it. When we grow older, we will say they don't know, right? And there is possibility of raising your temper also. Talking harsh words. Maybe you are far away, so you will not have that many harsh words with your parents, but daily interaction, it is possible that you will get harsh words. So here, the Vyadha talks about 5 rules. One is that Agni is Sakshi for everything. We should respect, because without that, no life can go on. The sun, the sun is to be respected. And then one of the important things you get out of this is never talk harsh to your parents. Then this chap is told, this is all I do. Then he says, my wife is there, my children are there. I'm very happy when I come home, I'm with them. And then I lead a very simple life. But I lead a integrated life. So this has given me these powers. And then this chap goes back to his wondering, okay, now I will amend my ways and I shall render service. So we have a sample of a lady who took care of the husband, another sample of the lady who has taken care of the husband. Now I will talk about some romance in southern India of yesteryears. We hold the record for the first eloping marriage in southern India, ever, from times immemorial. And the woman gets to choose whom she wants to marry. They are trying to make a deal of marriage for her. This Vidarbha is Maharashtra, parts of Karnataka and Madhya Pradesh, old Vidarbha. Women of these regions are very educated and very charming and very good looking and very capable. So there, Rukmini sends her first letter to Krishna planning an elopement. Okay? And it is a successful elopement and she becomes, it is a very interesting story. See, this Chudala story I told you where you turn, right? The mendicant becomes Chudala. This is called a Bahurupi puppet in India. There are systems where these stories can be told on stage. So they have designed techniques to create these kind of puppets to tell these kind of stories. So in Rukmini Parinaya also, she writes to Krishna telling him that she is being asked to marry somebody else. Well, throughout her childhood they told her she will marry Krishna. And suddenly due to political reasons that the king wanted alliance with somebody else, she's going to marry Shishupala. Shishupala, not a good fellow. Jarasandha is very, very conceited. We have Rajas, very power-monging, doesn't care about people. So, but is a very dear friend. And Jarasandha, then Rukmini elopes with Krishna. With the fastest horses imaginable, the chariot comes, and it's a very beautifully planned elopement. And then he's crestfallen. The man who had to marry her says, I'm going to give up my life now. And interestingly, there is a description of road and curb in this story, which is at least 5,000 years old. And there he says, oh, my friend, here everybody is like this. She is no exception. So I can find you somebody more beautiful than her. And then he goes on to say, have you not seen a wooden Darumayi Yoshi Nrityate Kokechya? Darumayi Yoshi means entertainer with wooden dolls. He says, have you not seen entertainer with wooden dolls? When the strings are pulled, the doll will dance. So like that, we are puppets in the hands of the Almighty. Life is a cycle. What goes down will come up, and what goes up will come down. And we have reference to puppetry, which dates back to an established puppetry, because this is given in the Bhagavata and the Mahabharata. We have this reference of the shloka which says, don't you know the puppet show? And we have many. We have one more, I'll tell you. We have 10 minutes, yes. And we'll open up for questions. There is Maitri and Sulabha, two people we will see. Different kinds of women of ancient India. And now we know why we are like how we are. We can do commerce. We can do engineering. We can do administration in the house, outside the house, large family, small family. Be kind, take care of guests, and smile and say, it's all right, I can do this. And we need to preserve this. Because the Western world, I remember in LA, I was told, I didn't have a visa to work in the beginning. So I said, let me learn everything the city has to give me. I went for sewing classes, comforter sewing classes. Then I went for cake decoration classes. And in one of the classes, the lady said, see, we wear this chain, which is our Mangalya, sign of marriage. And there is a ball in the Mangalya. This is, you are bound by ball and chain. Women in India are bound by ball and chain. I'm like, I have a rope to success, where is yours? Wow. You see, this is what we are. And it is very plain. It is not complicated. So just because, like the British came and said, only if you're married, you're a Srimati. If you are not married, you are not a Srimati. Intellect, marriage do not, it's not a prerequisite. Marriage is not prerequisite for a woman's intellect. So, everybody is a Srimati. Everybody who can render tasks is a Srimati. And all of you know, see, to you, I don't have to explain what this is. Maybe for a younger crowd, in the sense who have not experienced life. And you are working for your children, you will work for your grandchildren, you will work for your extended family, and you will work for your neighborhood, you will work for your group here. And that's who we are, and we have to remember this identity, and we cannot go lesser. See, just because of a glamour factor. See, when you don't know, one way is to say, I don't know, and learn. Second thing is to say, I don't know, it doesn't matter. What I know is great. So this attitude is gone today. Everywhere, because we do seminars, I do workshops and puppet shows for people who are working black box for Tesla, where they want them to say, I don't know. So the younger people we are kind of taught to think that if I say I don't know, it's a crime. So this brainwash is going away from Indian population, which is huge. And it will come to a point where it will go back to why, how, who am I? So this why, how, who am I, you have found success because of all of these, answering the questions and not shoving it under. So there is a mendicant, Sulabha. See, we have a last name of King Janaka, who is supposed to be Sita's father also. Janaka is a last name. And his country is Videha. That means they are not attached to the body. They are all up there intellectualizing in the spiritual plane. And he's very proud of where he is in this platform. A mendicant comes to his court. Her name is Sulabha. And she comes in, again she can change her form as somebody not like a mendicant with hair tied up in a mat and not bothered about how her appearance, because she can't enter the court like that. So she becomes toned down and goes in. And in silence, the conversation of Sulabha and Janaka is in the mind. So she challenges him and says, I'm here for a debate with you. And Janaka says, I agree. Sulabha enters his mind. Okay, so she's capable of entering through eyes. They can enter the mind of the other person. She enters his mind. And then Janaka asks her, who gave you permission? You didn't ask my permission. She says, you calling yourself Videha? The whole country is Videha. Whose permission should I ask? There is no Deha. So it goes on. It's a very beautiful conversation while he finally agrees and tells her, I bow down to you. Because you are a scholar. You are the ultimate intellect that I have come across, and you have humbled me and taught me lessons. So this kind of women have also existed. And then there is Maitreyi, who is wanting to learn. Yajnavalkya is another rishi. Maitreyi goes and says, he offers her wealth. He says, I can get you anything. You want cows, you want land, you want gold, you want position, everything I'll give you. And she says, no, I just want knowledge. And she gets that knowledge, and later on there is great debates of life happening between these two people. And in the Ramayana, there is an elderly man married to a young woman. And she tells him, you go get me some wealth. This Rama is going away to forest. He is giving away all his wealth. Go and get some wealth. So he motivates him, and he, even though old, goes all out to please her and to get the wealth. And we have that as a humor there, where he's limping and trying his best. His name is Trijata. He has 3 hair spouts on his head, and that is also there. So we have equality between men and women. They're not equals, but they're treated, they had their positions. There was acceptance that when somebody in a relationship is not doing so well, we don't always have success all our lives. Sometimes you're down, sometimes you're up. But the strength of the Indian woman, the hidden potential I'm talking about, is to rise to her identity and to understand that now I become somebody who gives. Because we know how much we receive, right? In order to be in this field, in order to have a position, in order to be able to do whatever we do, we receive. And when we become successes, we forget what we received. And the strength lies in, at that point, saying, now I give. I give without ego. And this is the path we have trodden. This is the path of success. It is holistic success. It is the success of the family. It is the couple relationships. And if you're wondering who are all these couples, Rama, Sita, everybody, the woman you think is suffering. I'll tell you one Harish Chandra example. I was writing the script for Harish Chandra puppet show. And then I said, what is this woman is sold in the market? Queen, and she has to go work as a servant in somebody's house. What is this culture of ours? And I said, I don't want to do this. I called my husband and said, I'm not doing this puppet show because, this is not the way we should be. And I will do Urvashi and Vishwamitra. For something I had to do a show. Very glamorous show. He said, do okay, whatever you do, and then if you have anything, we'll discuss in the evening. I put the phone down, half an hour later, I get a call saying, ma'am, we want you to come, and there is a function going on, we want you to come and honor the guest. I went to that place. These doubts I had in my mind about why is this story there. That lady who was doing, he was talking, said, today I'm going to address an issue. All of you bear with me. It is not with the topic we had yesterday. There was a series of lectures going on. And she addresses this issue of the doubt I have in mind. And you see, the lady is now, Chandramati's husband says, I stand by truth. For this Satya, I'm giving away you. Because what happens is, if you don't know the story, I'll tell you in 2 lines. Harishchandra is truthful and he promises to a sage who comes any wealth he asks. The sage says, give me everything you have. And on top of that, you have to give dakshina, a little more money after you give dana, give away everything. That is customary. Now he doesn't have any money to give dakshina. And in India, 2 places, Kashi and Hampi, are not owned by kings. Kings are representatives of Shiva, whatever. So Raja goes there, Kashi is close by, and there he sells himself in the market, saying, I can do some work, give money and send this fellow, I have to give dakshina. Nobody wants the king because they say, you look like such a soft person. What work will you do? And the wife goes to do housework. And then he's taken away to a graveyard. For the graveyard shift, literally, Harishchandra goes and is working there. A snake bites the son and the son dies. And she goes for cremation, she has no money. And he doesn't see who she is in the darkness. He says, see, I have to do work for my master. Without money, I cannot do it. This is not my place. Then she says, I have nothing. Then this Mangalya gold, he says, give me, you have gold. That only you give. Then he realizes who she is. And then the story goes on. And this tests and tribunals, finally there is Apavada, somebody thinks she's stolen the king's gold. And they want to behead her at about the same time. So last prayer is, may Harishchandra be my king, my husband. May Ayodhya be my capital. May the same boy who died at 5 years be my son in my next birth. So we have Nala Damayanti also. Damayanti, Nala gambles and loses kingdom. Wife has 2 kids. She sends them away to father's house and repairs the husband with all the problems, not aggressively, not putting him down, not complaining, but in a manner which is effective. And they get together again. So the relationship between couples is not my money, your money. my space, your space, my bank account, your account, my house, your house. That was not the relationship between husband and wife. Many rituals are there in Indian weddings. So the rituals talk about bringing these two together forever. That means we talk about moksha, right? Becoming free of this world. One exercise, small exercise for that is marriage. Of the two people coming together in an integrity, in a plane where nothing matters. See, physically so much trouble is going on. There, at the inner level or the level of the soul, if you understand what that is, they are one. So they work together for dharma. What is dharma? Common sense, ethics. That which is good for me, that which is good for you, that which is good for universe. So they are looking at their duties, they're rendering their duties, and they're working with this togetherness. So for our yardstick is today's. So after my fight of 20 years with all of this, one fine day after this lecture, I went and read many, many books. And I said, why is this woman still wanting all this? You know, he gave her I have been in the US many years, so I will think like that. So after that, I said, oh, now I understand that the link is at a different platform. So we try to evaluate everybody from our platform. What we need to do is go up there and see where am I in this ladder. That is happiness. So you become master of your happiness. The more you do, banyan tree is there, no? The more it grows, the stronger it is. So the Western concept is, why should I? The Indian concept is, of course I can. Because I am Srimati. So everybody we can take care of. And that is universal motherhood. That is universal sisterhood. And that is the potential I am addressing today. And thank you all. And I wish you more and more of this. And I wish you grand families, grand workspaces where you are glowing and happy and distribute this happiness to the rest of the world. Thank you, Sangeeta, and thank you for the Muscat chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and for our wonderful chief guest. And thank you all for this. And if you have any questions that come up, or fun games.
You could have just gone on speaking and we could have just gone on listening. So thank you. That was really very interesting. You left us wanting for more. And I'm so impressed by the way you responded about the ladder and the rope. So hats off to you to think of such a thing and to, I mean, that's amazing what you said. And yes, we are all here to do our karma and our dharma, and thank you for all the wishes. This made me feel more in gratitude where I am today, because I don't know about others, but lucky for me, I live with my in-laws, I live with my kids, I live with my family, even in a foreign country, so I am really blessed. So thank you.
Indeed, indeed. And by the way, what I forgot to tell you is everything I've spoken is my puppet shows also.
We were hoping to see a sample of it.
No, these things, I discovered techniques between this and, the storytelling and the technique. And then when Paris called me with the misinterpretation of the stories, I said, I'm coming. So I went with the techniques, went with the original stories, and it has been a very interesting exploration. With design and story and communication, and basically it all leads to happiness.
And that glows up. So you are reeking and spreading that happiness. We can see that glow in your face.
Oh, that's also partly, like I said, the space here. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
I've come from a very hustle-bustle, busy schedule, and this just put me in my element. So thank you for that.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for this inspiring talk. I have one question that so many women, they have hidden potential. How would they, what would be that eureka moment that, we have that potential and we can pursue this further? What was in your case? I mean, you are so talented. I mean, it's a long list.
Yeah, I have to manage. See, like I told you, every time I read, I say, I can be better. One thing is, I would really recommend to work towards conquering anger. What happens is, we are all emotionally poised human beings with less time and more responsibilities. So one thing is to ask, another thing is to give. When you ask, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And then you understand, I don't need to ask. I can rise to a point where I can give. And that abundance happens where you can give and you're still fine. So you should not measure. See, we have the word akshaya, right? Immeasurable. Or ananta, which is forever. So if you, basically you have to drop the Western yardstick for happiness. If you keep the Western yardstick, you become limited in your potential. The potential is unlimited. And we don't know. See, in my own case, some professor came from Paris. She read about my work in the newspaper in Mysore. She traveled to Bangalore on the way to the airport. And she came in around 9:30 a.m. and we sat and discussed. Then I realized it's 4 p.m. and I've not offered her anything to eat. I apologized. We had lunch. She said, come to Paris and teach. Come to Nice and teach. I was like, yeah, I'll come. I didn't think it was serious. But then it happened. And then when I met the students there, I realized same problems. And I remember in Paris, a parent who's from Holland, whose daughter was studying there, called me and I said, I don't know what magic you did. But my daughter just called me and spoke to me. That's all that happened. And this daughter also got a job in the 100th, that university there, 100th sector. Now when I landed in Paris, nobody wanted brown woman there. I went in Salwar Kameez to do a job because I didn't ask, they called me. It was a UN invitation by which I went, a scholarship. Realized very soon that, okay, then they wouldn't give rehearsal space for me. Then I told the students, see, I had about 25 students and no rehearsal space. And somebody with 5 students got rehearsal space. I said, it doesn't matter. I'm used to doing rehearsal in corridors. Let us do rehearsal. Let us do our job. Not be bothered about people who do not understand you or will not. Then this happened. And my students got jobs at the end of the show. They come everywhere and sit. You saw the video of that. In the glimpse, it was there. And in Belgium, there were 2 factions. One which was with the UN, one which was not. So they decided to give this lady from India a hard time. They didn't know who I was. And I went to class and they said, we don't have Microsoft in our university. We only have Apple. That means I can't do a PowerPoint. I go, okay. We are used to not using technology. We can still work. And one day class happened. And I told everybody, you can go out. Whoever doesn't want the class can go. I didn't ask to come. I've been invited here because it's good for you. You want to take it, otherwise you go. Then they said, we can't go because there's video. These are all scholars from different parts of the world, ages 24 to 28. When I faced this day one, I remembered Swami Vivekananda's words. I left my ego completely outside the room. I said, I am nobody. And I go to do a job. After one more day, they accosted me and said, let's go to the bar. I said, no, my spirits are within. I don't need from outside. Then they said, no, you come, we'll get you the best chocolate in Belgium. I was a little scared. Dhairya is required at this point. Then I went with them. Then they started pouring out apologies and the problems. And guess what? We did a puppet show, a satire of Panchatantra. We just worked for the administrative problems which were going on there. And then they did a parade of the puppets around town and took me to, I was a guest in somebody's house and I'm in touch with some of them and they gave me a wonderful card and a cheerful goodbye. And these experiences, see, I was in a helpless condition, but my training was do your job in goodness, not in anger. So you give up your ego. If you are control of your ego, half the job is done. And you have to not think I'm so great that I should not do all this. We should be ready to do everything.
Hello. It was really beautiful listening to you actually. My question to you is, I see you as a successful woman definitely. What success means to you? What it means?
My family. Because that is my core. That is where my heart is totally here. See, this is a very meditative process for me to make puppets. But it doesn't, I'm not attached to anything I receive. I bow down to it because it is great. And then I leave it there. And I learn from there. See, experience is ours. See, experience is ours. Nothing else is ours. If you look at your own photo, right? If you see your photo 20 years ago, and you look at photo of today, you say, who is me? Is that me? Is this me? Or is tomorrow whatever I'll see me? So I learned that this is not permanent. And finally, what you leave is clear conscience. That is what is undivided potential. So you have to work with your conscience. If it is difficult, it is all right. If the other spaces where you have to render is not okay, it is all right. You are better than that. See, once you become aware of who you are, you can have sympathy for whoever is less. Life is a ladder. We are all on different rungs of the ladder. So sometimes I'm surrounded by people better than me. That is a boon for me. I learn. I'm still a student. I have a lot of scholar friends who are there with one phone call. I ask, this is what I need. So success is happiness which is sustainable.
Thank you, ma'am,
Thank you.
for the enlightening session. I'm sure everyone had a great time with you. Thank you so much for coming down. May I just request the members of the MC committee to just come forward to have a photo with our speaker, because our vice chair was not available in the earlier photo.
Thank you, Padma Shri Anupama ji, for the enlightening and inspiring talk. The insights shared were not just words, they were windows into the extraordinary stories, resilience, and untapped potential that enrich the fabric of our society. Now I request CA Jim Joseph, Chairman, Muscat Chapter of ICAI, to felicitate Padma Shri Anupama ji.
Thank you, Ms. Anupama ji and CA Sarita. As we promised before, let's move to the most awaited event of the day. We will have some fun-filled activities. We'll start with a quiz, and let's welcome our quiz masters, CA Sarita and CA Tenu, who will test our knowledge buds with agility.
Thank you, CA Hemalata. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, happy International Women's Day to one and all present here. Welcome to our quiz game extravaganza. Myself, CA Tenu, and my friend, CA Sarita, are here to take you all through a suspense-filled game of quiz. There will be a total of 3 rounds in this quiz. Now, let me take you through the rules of round 1. Meanwhile, my friends here are distributing a pen and paper to each one of you to finish the question quickly. There will be 4 questions in round 1. The objective of this round is to correctly derive the name of a brand using the hints given in the question. So the first round is logo quiz round. For better understanding, I will just explain you with a sample here. You will be given 2 or more logos on the screen. Now, can you all identify what are the brands? So, first is first is Domino's, second is Rolex, third one is Volkswagen, and fourth one is Harley Davidson. So that is the easy part. Now, after that, once you identify the names, use the hints given to derive the final answer, which will be another brand name. Okay? Here, for example, M plus 4. So the fourth letter from M, which is S. Okay? So the second word will be H minus 3, which is O. A plus 3 in Volkswagen will give you N, and R plus 3 in Harley will give you Y. So what is our final answer? Can you please dim the lights? Sony. Yeah, Sony is the right answer. So fourth letter from M in Domino's will give you S. H minus 3 in Rolex will give you O. And A plus 3 in Volkswagen will give you N. And AR plus 3 in Harley will give you Y. So our final answer is Sony. No, H minus 3, no? Fourth letter from M is S. Similarly, when you reduce, yeah. Are we on the same page here? Got it right? So can we move forward? So all of you got the example, right? Yeah, this is a sample. We will go to the first question. Any more doubts? So all of you might have got the papers and pen, and let me take you through some surprises here. Each question will have only 30 seconds. Okay? In 30 seconds, you will have to solve the answer. And only, the winner will be the first lady who comes up to Miss Sarita here and give your answer. So she will note down the winner's name and prizes will be distributed at last. Yeah. You have to go to Miss Sarita and give you, quietly, don't speak out the answer, okay? So quietly, if you get the answer, go to Miss Sarita. She'll be walking around, you can, Yeah, everybody got a pen and paper, right? Okay. So maybe husbands can, support their wives. Okay, no support needed. And also there will be no duplication of prizes, okay? One person, one answer, one prize. Only women are participating, yeah. So shall we move on to the first question? Ready? So answer here is Sony. Okay, your time starts now. Come on, ladies, 15 seconds. So your time stopped. Okay, so we got the correct answer here. And Sarita, so I'll tell you the right answer. I think we have some confusion here in the last name. Okay, we already got the right answer, so I'm going to show it. It is IBM. Okay? Adidas, Mercedes, and Amazon. Benz. Okay, sorry for that, yeah. But we got our right answer here. So your time starts now. Oh, now seems like more people are coming. Sarita, if the first one is wrong, then the second. Who came second? So, the right answer is Ford. So we will move on to the third question. Okay, ready? Your time starts now. The first round will be of logos, then we will move on. We got one? Okay, we got the winner here. Okay, so we got the winner and the answer is dull. Okay, we'll move on to the last and final question in round 1. Your time starts now. $15. Yeah. Husbands can support, of course. At least wives will get prize. 25 seconds. We don't have a winner. Your time ends. Yeah, we have 1, 2. Please come forward. 1, 2, and 3. So who is the first person? So I think Sarita got the winner. Okay. So the right answer is lace. Okay, moving on to round 2, which is pretty straightforward. And there will be no time limit for this, okay? Whoever comes with the right answer will be the winner. You will be shown a picture of a famous woman personality and you have to identify her. That is the question.
So you can raise hand and say the name, no problem.
Okay.
Say in the second round, right?
Okay, better. You can raise hands and say the answer out loud. So moving on to first question. Anybody? Yeah, the hint is right, but the name? No Google. Yeah, no Google. Okay, maybe I can give you a hint. She's Malayali from Kerala. Yeah. You know that. And she is known as the Missile Woman of India. Missile Woman of India, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so our answer is Dr. Tessie Thomas. Seems like all of us are poor in current affairs. Okay, moving on to question number 2. Husbands can really help. Seems like. Who will help them? Huh? Yeah. She is a para archer. Yeah. She won 2 gold medals and 1 silver at Asian para archer. Yes, do we have? Huh? Yes, right answer. Sheetal Devi. Yeah. Okay. So with that, we come to the end of round 2. So round 3 is similar, where the quotes of famous women leaders will be given, and you will have to identify the personality. So moving on to first question. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. Yeah, she's not Indian. Yeah, we have one person there. Yes, correct. So our answer is Eleanor Roosevelt. So we will move on to the next question. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. Yes. Helen Keller, right answer. Okay, thank you all for the great participation. With that, we come to round 3 of... Thank you. Now, handing over to CA Deepshika for the next session.
Good evening, everyone. Now it's the time for a fun-filled creative activity, that is a puppet making competition. We have assigned numbers to all the ladies present here. Numbers from 1 to 10 is assigned, and there will be 10 groups with 3 members each. So you have to, you will be given 10 minutes for making a puppet. And our esteemed guest, Mrs. Anupama ji, will judge the best art, the best creation. So I request all of you to please go to the tables which are placed behind. Those who have numbers 1 can go to the table on my right, first table, and so on. One number is left. I'll see which group don't have a member, and
only 2 people.
group which have only 2 people, please raise your hand and tell your number. Group. In this activity, you have to make minimum 1 puppet, and you can make as many as you want. It's not the competition about number of puppets, it's the best creation out of these limited things available to you. And you will be given 10 minutes for making your puppet. Okay, now let's start. It's 8:20. At 8:30, we'll stop. Now, I request our esteemed chief guest, Padma Shri awardee, Mrs. Anupama ji, to judge the best art.
So our group 1 is explaining their puppet to Anupama ji.
Like a starfish-like thing with the happy crowns with the buttons and some feathers. So this one, in spite of his disabilities, trying to put a brave face and be happy and live in the moment.
So we have this dancing puppet who is smiling and dancing her life away, balancing her work and her family. And can you leave her, so let her have her dance of her life? Yeah. Namaste and marhaba. This is us, all the women who are balancing their lives with their family and work. Sometimes the family takes importance, sometimes the work takes importance, but we are smiling and living our life happily and merrily.
So we have depicted a scene from Ramayana where Shri Ram and Sita ji and Lakshman ji is on a vanvas. So you can see that nowadays the series is also going on, and we are seeing how what all Shri Ram is facing in during the vanvas. So we try to depict something out of it. Yeah. So we have tried to. Yeah. How do you play? I mean. Yeah, we were not able to fix the string to play, but yes, yeah. So, but we can see that Sita ji and Ram ji is sitting and Lakshman ji is there. Yeah. Yeah, we have used rubber bands to fix them.
And even their
Janu is also there with them. Yeah, we tried to put tika with the craft paper. So this is the first time we have tried to recreate out some puppets. Yeah, thank you.
We made gypsy types of person, which is come to participate in Muscat festival. I can't play it, but it's just standing statue.
He is a happy-go-lucky person. He is an Adi Visa. His name is Adi Visa. He just jumps from here to there, finding some food, finding some happiness. Because, yeah, ma'am said happiness is important. So he is trying to be happy all the time. So he's Adi Visa.
So our puppet is belongs from a tribal place.
Tribal India.
A tribal place, India, and she lives a simple life, a very happy life. The snake that we have made represents the difficulties in life that she faces, and still she's able to just go through and sway herself along the, just through her path happily and peacefully.
And she's dancing.
Sorry?
Can you play the snake too?
Yeah. The difficulties that she faces, and this lady just still sways around with happy. The straws represent her arms, so that's the life that she's just
thinking that we have.
Should I? We were trying to demonstrate men and women are equal. In that sense, women are not made to exactly prove the point that they can do everything men can do, no. But they are trying to prove that they can do everything men cannot do. So we made them equal, and they complement each other. This is the male and this is the female version, but they are equal and they complement each other in life to enhance the relationship. So we demonstrated a boy and a girl, or a husband and a wife.
We'll add one point. So actually in Andhra there is a jaraga they will do. So that's why they are having like this. So while playing before the god jaraga and all, so that is the theme of this. Yeah, thank you. We have made a family actually. Everybody has, the children have their own tensions, wives, ladies have their own tensions, the husbands have their own tensions. So when they all come together, it's togetherness, awareness and happiness. That's what we have tried to portray here. So the children, like, they will dance when they come. And the husband is sitting and watching his TV probably. The head of the family. Yeah. And the children, one of them is skating, playing around here. And one of the child is sitting and watching the TV with his mobile. So that's what we try to portray. As you said, the awareness is very important. So we try to portray the family.
Thank you, ma'am. This is Tolu and Molu. They are the happening bros. They're basically trying to find joy in where they have found themselves. As you see, they are shabbily made. Yeah, and it just kind of explains to us that at life sometimes we are not in control of what pieces we are dealt with, but we still try to be merry and try to make sense of it and be happy nevertheless. Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. So we're trying to figure out.
Happening, bro.
They still kind of find it happen.
So these are the army soldiers and Rani Lakshmi Bai ki Sena, and whenever they get the time, and so they are enjoying their dancing, and meanwhile they are just living their life, they are following their passion, because most of the time they are just on duty and serving for their country. So these are our girls, today's girls, who are just living their life too, along with fulfilling their duties also. How do you, shall I play them? With the wings, we didn't get the time to fix much, but yeah, we'll try.
Firstly, if any of you want recruitment in the puppet theatre, all of you are hired. Because in 10 minutes, the creativity which you have shown and the amazing characters that you have brought out, welcome to Dhato Puppet Theatre. It's amazing. And there's only one winner. So now we have to go technical. Rest, all are on par. Okay? What is a puppet? A puppet is an object which can move and communicate. That means, that is how it becomes an art from craft. Craft is when you make it, right? And then art is when you communicate with it. And for that reason, table 2 is the winner.
Congratulations. Can the members please come forward who were part of table 2? So Anupama ji will give away the prize to each winner.
So big round of applause for Ajman Perfumes.
Let's have a big round of applause to group 2. Thank you Anupama ji and thank you team for your great work. Now I would like to request Anupama ji to give away prizes for the winners of round 1, 2 and 3 of the quiz game. Winners can come forward. I will call the names. So question number 1 winner is Kesia. Question number 2 winner is Harsha. Harsha, please come forward. Question number 3 winner Afra. Question number 4 winner Manasi. Round 2 question number 2 winner Tejal. Round 3 question number 1 winner, Manaswini. Round number 3, question number 2 winner, Nazabin. That's our final winner.
Thank you, everyone. We all witnessed a fun-filled session of activities and so much of creativity. Now I call upon CA Deepshita to give her to give a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Life is an art. Paint your dreams. No powerful force other than woman's determination can make it. I, C.A. Smita Gaikwad, on behalf of ICAI Muscat chapter, take the opportunity to thank our chief guest, Ms. Najat Al-Lawati, and today's speaker, Padma Shri Anupama Hoskere, for her inspiring and motivating session with all the lovely stories from Bharata. I would like to thank all the members and their spouse who made the event memorable one with their lovely presence. Finally, I would like to thank CBFS and all the sponsors for their unwavering support. Wishing you a happy International Women's Day once again to all the amazing ladies out here. Thank you.